Well, good morning. It's Lisa Schaefer here again. The topic I want to discuss today is home education. And I'm going to get a drink because I'm a coffee lover and it's morning. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's a horribly gray day. I'm going to give you a picture. That is my window, okay, in my office. It's horribly gray, rainy. Blech. We've had a lot of that in Kansas lately. It's getting old. Um, let's talk about homeschooling. It's fall, it's coming close to the school year. And I've been teaching my kids at home, well, pretty much since they were born. My oldest was born in 1993, and we knew before he was born that we were going to homeschool. One of the reasons for that is that we had good friends that were homeschooling, and we loved what we saw, and we felt like we had enough support, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute, that homeschooling would be a good option for us. So, and not only that, after praying about it for a very long time, we really just felt like that's what we were called to do. So, we've been homeschooling for a very long time. I now have a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old, and I have an almost 15-year-old, and he's really the last. He's the last one. I'm not sure I'm ready for that journey to be over. So let's talk about home education. You've got your reasons for even considering it. So I want to tell you the things that I think you really ought to be thinking about. Okay, so number one, what's your motive? Why do you want to homeschool your kids? I can honestly tell you if it's because your neighbor's doing it and it looks like fun, that is not a good reason. Because when hard days come, and they do come, people, I'm going to be honest with you. Homeschooling your kids is wonderful, but it's not without its bad days. Just like raising them and parenting on a daily basis, there are days when your kids get older, especially, and maybe you've got a very, very young one with some special needs that is trying daily. They're hard days. And so your motive to keep your children at home with you day in and day out has to be a strong motive. Not because I don't feel like that's the natural way of things. I'll be honest with you. I say that a lot, but that's because I want you to know I'm telling the truth. I'm not judging people for having their kids in public school. I'm not going to do it. My kids went to public school when they got much older, tried it out for a year because they wanted to be in art and choir and some things that I could not offer in a very small community. And that resource was available to me. Loved the teachers that they were with. Those people do a beautiful job with the very, very best everything they've got, they pour into their classroom most of the time. I love teachers. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. But I've never been a strong advocate of the public school system based on what I have seen it produce over the course of the last 100 years. And let's be honest here, I said it again, this is a relatively short-term experiment, public education. Homeschooling used to be the way of things for all children. If you look back in history, you will see that the way of education was done in the home with the family. Okay, so this public school thing is a very short-term thing. And I have public school teachers in my family. I love them and what they do, and I know they love me and have been very respectful of me and my decision to homeschool my kids. But what I have seen has dictated my thoughts regarding public education. Again, if you go out there and tell people I'm bashing public education, I'm going to be real upset because that's not what I'm saying at all. I have friends and loved ones that teach and participate in the public school system. Some families cannot homeschool. Some moms were just not made for it. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. Because really what I'm advocating here, advocating here, is that you have that choice. It's your decision, and you have that option. And I respect the rights of parents to make that decision. Choose homeschooling, public schooling, private schooling, Christian schooling, whatever it is. It's your choice. So think about your motives. If you're not called to do it, because, really that's the thing that's going to keep you going on a hard day, may not be the thing for you. And that's okay. It really is okay. I'm a product of the public school system. It's okay. Um, Maybe, you think the quality of education will be better with home education. Certainly one-on-one attention, will be, but there are some things I cannot teach well, and I have to look for other resources to help my kids do that because I want to make sure that they get the best education they can within the context of our home. And some things I cannot teach very well, so have to find someone who can. So think about what your resources are. I mean, what's going to be available to you. All right. Think about the law. What is the law in your state regarding home education? Kansas is a very homeschool friendly state right now. I don't know that it will always be that way, but at this point I'm very grateful for that. Some states, not so easy. You're required to answer to social workers, or you're required to provide some sort of scope and sequence to the public school system or to a school administrator so that they can take a look at what you're doing and seeing if you're doing enough, which is kind of funny if you think about it, but I'll get to that later. So find out what the law is. A really nice resource is Homeschool Legal Defense Association, which is hslda.org. Go there. You can click on your state, and that will be linked to laws in your state and organizations that you can connect with about home education. So, but know the law. I mean, you're going to have to jump through whatever hoops you're forced to jump through if you decide you want to homeschool. Okay? Know yourself. If you already know you're not a very patient person, if you already know that there are some things you're not willing to sacrifice, if you already know that little Bobby makes you crazy from the hours of 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day right now and he's only 4, you need to really think about yourself, who you are, and the kind of parent that you are, and what is your relationship with your kids. Now, let me back up a second. One of the reasons that a lot of families decide to homeschool is because their children seem to be drifting away from them within the public school system. They seem to be giving what I call giving their hearts to other leaders or mentors or parents, if you will, parenting people in their life, and the parents feel the need to reel them in so that they can still have influence and parent their children. Every situation is completely different. So a lot of families will say, look, our relationship is deteriorating. Homeschooling would allow us to start rebuilding. And in fact, I have encouraged families, again, look at the laws in your state, but I have encouraged families who have had struggling relationships or deteriorating relationships to take some time off from schooling, not just a summer, but let's say their child has been in public school for 3 or 4 years and now they want to bring that child home to home educate. You need to rebuild the relationship that you have with your child because they need to start viewing you as the person who imparts education to them. And most of the time, that's not how they see you. They see you as the person who kisses all the boo-boos and makes them feel better and makes them chicken soup and whatever, but they may not see you as a teacher. And so you'll need to work on rebuilding your relationship so that your children see you as a trustworthy resource for their education. And that just takes time. Honestly, I've told families, by the way, again, check the laws in your state. I have told families who've had those struggling times, take at least a semester and just read together, play together, do a lot of art together, make sure you do things, outings together, rebuild that family situation. So examine your relationships with your children already. What does that look like? And the last one I'm going to touch on right now, and I'm sure I can talk about this some more, and I probably will. It's a huge part of who I am, and I have a huge passion for it. Have a plan. Look at the styles of education out there, whether it's unit study approach to education or textbook workbook, sometimes classical. I tend to be very eclectic. We have all kids are different. The way I taught my oldest was not the way I could teach my middle child, and the way I taught my oldest and my middle child, I cannot teach my youngest. You have to examine their styles and their needs. There's a really great book out there called Things We Wish We'd Known by Diana Waring. I'll see if I can link it somewhere. But within that book are some great just some great support things, because there are pioneers in the home education movement who were teaching in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and they can offer some great counsel. But one of those things that's discussed is knowing your child's style of learning and your style of teaching. Decide the kind of teacher that you're going to be. I tend to be very hands-on. I'll try to put some videos on here for homeschooling moms specifically that will show you how to lap book and notebook. Those are things that we've done over the course of the last 20 years that my kids just absolutely loved, and it really helped them retain what they were learning. But that's a very hands-on thing, and I'm kind of that way. I want to, dig in and be hands-on. I'm a DIYer. I won't be putting any DIY videos on my blog, just so you'll know. Well, we'll see. Anyway, know your motive, know the law, know yourself and your relationship with your family, and have a plan. And it might change from time to time, but have a plan and think about what's going to work best for you. So I'd just be more than happy to visit with you on Facebook. You can go to my Facebook page. I don't have a fan page, just talk to me personally. My name is Lisa Schaefer, and I'm in a small town in Kansas. Also, work at home mom. You can take a look at I have 3 businesses that I work out of my home, just kind of catering to what people really need. So if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, or you want to be able to generate income from home, that's a whole another issue you need to think about if you're going to homeschool. If you need to generate income from home, then take a look at one of my videos. If you're on my blog and not on YouTube right now, if you're on my blog, you can see a link at the top, a link to the side, and a link at the bottom. All of those tell you to register or to ask for more information. It's free, and I'll be happy to share what we're doing right now. Just empowering people to be able to build an internet marketing business that really works and really does pay people. So it's been a blessing to us, because it does allow me to be home. Also, you can take a look at my eVenture website, which is www.eve, that's EVE, venture.com/mybizrocks, and that's ROX. Yeah, I know, not a good speller for a homeschool mom, right? Anyway, yeah, I was trying to be funny. So have a fabulous day. Get to know me a little bit better. I'm loving sharing what I know, which ain't a whole lot, but I love sharing what I know. And thank you for being a part of my story. See you on the blog.